Welcome back. This is the fake weather report. This is part two of our Mystery Babylon series. I'm picking up on Isaiah 47. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thou shalt be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent, and get into the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt not more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. And thou didst show them mercy upon the ancient. Hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke? And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore now hear this. Thou art given pleasures to dwell carelessly, and sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Therefore now this given pleasures that dwells carelessly, thou sayest in heart, I am no one else besides me. I sit not as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come thee in a moment one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of the enchantments. For thou hast trusted thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. The wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee, and thou hast been in thy heart, I am no one else besides me. Therefore shall evil be come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon me. You shall not be able to put it off, and desolation shall be come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, where thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, thou shalt be able to profit. If so, thou mightest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of the councils. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and say these things shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as a stubble, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm it, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee whom hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. Isaiah 13. Lift up ye banner upon the high mountain, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. Lift ye up high a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake thy hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host for battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and it shall become as destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel with both wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will allay the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the olden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be chased roe, and a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one to his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto him shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I stir up the Medes against them. I shall not regard silver or as of gold, and they shall not delight in it. Their bows shall dash the young men into pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall shepherds make their fold there. But the beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls that dwell there, and satyrs that dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons, and in their pleasant places. And the time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. For the Lord, which have mercy on Jacob, Isaiah 14. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and they will yet choose Israel, and set them up in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And for the people shall shake them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass that in the day the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say how the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken off the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He hath smote the people with the continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and hindered. The whole world is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees that rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved thee to meet thee, and coming and stirreth upon the dead for thee. Even as the chief ones of the earth, it shall have raised up their thrones and the kingdoms of nations. And they shall speak unto thee, say, Art also thou become as we? Are thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy viols. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thee fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning star? How art thou cut from the ground, which thou weakest the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars. I will sit upon the mount of congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to the hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying this is the man who made the earth to tremble, and did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nation, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast like a grave, an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down through the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land, and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers be renowned. Prepare for slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, say the Lord of hosts, and cut Babylon the name, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord. I will also make possession for the bittern pools of water, and I will sweep it with a besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, Surely I have thought, so it shall come to pass, and as I have purposed, so it shall stand, that I will break the Syrian in my land, and upon the mountains tread him under foot, and they shall yoke as depart of them, and burden depart of their shoulders. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Lord of hosts has proposed, and who shall disannul it? And his hand stretched out, who shall turn it back? In the year of the king Ahaz was the burden. Rejoice not, though, whole Palestine, because of the rod of the smote that is broken. For that of the serpent's root shall become forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy lie down in safety. And I will not kill their root with famine, and they shall slay thy remnant. Howl, O gate, O cry, O city, the whole Palestine dissolved, for there shall become from north a smoke, and none shall be alone in his appointed times. What shall one then answer to the messengers of the nation that the Lord hath founded upon Zion, and the poor of the peoples shall trust in it? Isaiah 18. Woe to the land showing with the wings which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, that send ambassadors by the sea, even in vessels or bulrushes upon the water, saying, Go ye swift messengers to a nation scattered and peeled, to a terrible people from the beginning and hitherto, a nation meted out on trodden down, whose lands and rivers have spoiled. All ye inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see, when ye lifted up an ensign in the mountains, and he bloweth the trumpet, hear ye. For so the Lord said unto me, I will take thy rest, and I will consider in my dwelling place a clear heat upon herbs, and like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. For afore the harvest, when the bud is perfect, the sour grape is ripening, the flower, he shall both cut off the sprigs with pruning hooks, and take away and cut down those branches. They shall be left together unto the fowls of the mountains, and the beasts of the earth, and the fowls shall summer upon them, and the beasts of the earth shall winter upon them. In that time shall the present be brought unto the Lord of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled, and people from a terrible from their beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden under foot, whose land and rivers have spoiled, to the place of the name of the Lord of hosts, the Mount Zion. Okay, so that concludes part 2. I will be starting with the next portion, starting with Jeremiah 50. Looks like a kind of a lengthy one, but I should be able to get this done. So stay tuned for part 3 with Jeremiah.